Hey everybody, welcome back inside the stash. Here's your promised video of the bulkier stuff. We just got back from the old postal office and picked up two boxes. Not giant boxes by any stretch of the imagination, but two nonetheless. One from Wheeeee, one from Hobby Japan. Wheeeee stuff is obviously more vintage-ish type of stuff than the Hobby Japan stuff is. Hobby Japan will just be some recent kits and stuff like that. One thing I wanted to cover real quick before we get into all of the stuff is the situation with Gravity Colors. About 2 hours after I wrote them an email just saying, hey, I'm missing this color of paint. Probably just an oversight with the hurricane. But, I still need the color of paint because, paid for it and everything. I got an email back from the guys at Gravity, and they sent me an email that it was, I give it an A for promptness. I mean, 2 hours later on a Saturday, great customer service in that respect. I am a little mixed feelings about the actual tone of the message, which of course, is a whole thing about written words and you can't hear inflections. But the general gist of what was said was, oh, well, we know that you're short that color of paint, and it's because we were out and we had to order, from the home office over in Europe, and due to the hurricane, everything was disrupted, and so we sent your order without the red paint because we didn't want to hold it any longer. That's all fine and well. You guys know, we just did a video 2-3 videos ago that was the All Japan Model and Hobby Show preview show, right? We talked about the models that are coming out of Japan in October, November, and December. With that show being done, all of those models that are in that video are orderable, pre-orderable, if you will, at Hobby Japan, Hobby Search. Some of the stuff starting to show up on Spot Model and stuff like that. Hero Boy for the guys that are over in Europe. And some of the stuff, like if you want I have pre-ordered the next variant of the Suzuki Jimny tooling. That's a December release. I believe there's something else in the Aoshima. I don't have my notebook of knowledge down here with me right now. There's something I believe in the Aoshima reissues, the modified tooling reissues they're doing. I believe there's something there that I have pre-ordered. So I don't have a problem with ordering something and then waiting literally 3.5 months to receive it. So it's not like, again, I was, angry in the email or anything. Just said, hey, I don't know if you know, but I'm missing this color of paint. So like I said, there's two minor little things that grind my gears in this. One, okay, you knew you were short. Why couldn't you? Because with all the paint came a printed invoice of what I ordered. Why couldn't you just write down the invoice, paint out of stock, will ship when able? Okay, well then I'm not going to even bother contacting you, because I'll get the paint when I get the paint. I don't need it right this instant. It's not going to be, we'll talk about the reasons why I don't need it right this instant in a second, but even if I needed it right this instant, I can wait for it. There's other stuff I could work on beyond what that one project needs that one color for. The other thing is this, oh, we were out of stock of the paint. Well, you shouldn't show it in stock in the first place, but we were out of stock of this paint, and we couldn't ship it because the hurricane and the post office was closed for 7 days. And they were doing me a favor for shipping my order out and not holding it any longer. The reason I have an issue with that is because when they send you a email that says your order on blah 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 is shipped, and it gives you a tracking number, which is basically them printing out the shipping label for, they have like a Pitney Bowes type machine that prints out their shipping labels, which as soon as you print out a shipping label, it automatically creates a index file within the Postal Service saying that this number is assigned to this box at this location, and the tracking starts at that point. You guys had 12 days before the hurricane happened to ship that box out ahead of the hurricane, because you knew the hurricane was coming. Everybody knew the hurricane was coming. It was only a matter of question of where it was going to hit. I have family on the Gulf Coast side of the Florida, literally in Naples, which is right above Marco Island, which is right above where the hurricane hit. uh, would technically be considered the second time, because obviously the first time it made landfall in Florida, it hit Key West. So I'm well aware of what the hurricane did, how bad the hurricane was, and everything else that's going on down in Florida. Lots of friends and associates and whatnot in Florida as well. I don't begrudge the fact that everything was screwed up after the hurricane. I work for the Postal Service. I'm well aware of what facilities were open and closed after Harvey and Irma. Here comes Maria, by the way, if you're not paying attention to the forecast. Uh, so, again, in full disclosure, they wrote me an email. I didn't really like it wasn't very apologetic in the sense of what it was. And I ordered $60 more paint worth of more paint. So it's not like I'm condemning them by any stretch of the imagination. Just consider it a public service announcement. If you order paint from them, it may not be in stock, and you may have to wait for it. Don't order paint from them if you need it right this instant. Now, there may be some stuff I've talked to several friends who have Gravity Colors, and some people have had to wait for 3-4 weeks to get their orders, and some people have gotten their orders in 3 days. So it all really depends on what they have on hand in Florida from Europe at any one given time. And that's fine and dandy. You just need to communicate that better. Communication is key in a business. If communication is key within what we're doing here, where I'm communicating to you guys on YouTube. I think there's room for improvement in the communications thing. Again, if you knew you were going to short me the order because you didn't have the color of paint, cool, fine, whatever. I can wait, not a big deal. Let me know, because if I know the paint is coming on some other date, I'm not even gonna write you an email and say hey. The only reason I wrote an email was because I didn't know they knew that the paint was missing in the first place. It could have just been like, hey, we finally got power back on and the post office is finally back open. Let's get all this stuff out the door as fast as we can. And oops, we forgot to put a jar of paint in that box. So that's that. I got another shipping label printed for the $60 for the paint I ordered, which I assume that the missing color paint will go with this order, because that's what they said. They were going to ship it out separately on Monday. And I'm like, well, don't ship it out by itself. It'll be lonely. Here, put some more stuff in that box. Because really looking at the colors I ordered this time around, which really is pretty much all blue and one brown, which was not intentional, but it was just looking at colors going, I like that for this project, like that for this project, want that for this project, and this, that, and the other thing. None of the projects will probably ever see the light of day within the year of 2017, except maybe 1 or 2 of them. And again, that's all really dependent on the same old phrase. Say it with me, getting the shop done. Okay. So let's take a look at the actual goodies, shall we? Enough with the gravity situation. We got a bunch of stuff from Wheeeee. Let me grab the decals for Peter. Let me get the decals out of here to show you, because there was a couple of sets of those. And then we'll go into the kits real quick here. So, first up, when I bid on these, I wasn't paying attention to what they were in the sense of who made them. I thought these were a set of Shunko decals, but they're actually Studio 27, which is all fine and well, because 6 of one, half dozen the other quality was. But these are the decals to make the 2009 Autobacks NSX for Super GT. That makes this car right here. The reason I bid on these is because I thought they were Shunko decals, and they were, when I looked them up on Media Mix, which carries a bunch of like new old stock Shunko stuff. I couldn't find this set. They have the 2008 set, which is what Shunko made. This is 2009. Whatever. I mean, 6 1/2 dozen. I was going to order it from Hobbylink Japan, because this is still something that Studio 27 makes. But I paid less than the going price for it, so no big deal there. That's fine, but dandy by me. This was something we talked about just the other day in one of the most recent videos, where we got the Castrol Tom's Supra in. I had mentioned that Shunko makes a set for the 1997 car, which is the car that won the actual Super GT Championship. And what should show up a few days later? Hey, it's the decals that I was looking for. So I got this for a song, really. I assume because the Supra, for whatever reason, really not a particularly loved car, at least in model building. I mean, there's 2 of them that Tamiya made, race car wise. The the Castrol Toms and the Sard version, and the Sard version hard to get a hold of because they don't make it anymore, but the Castrol one's still in regular production. And you really just don't see too many of them ever get built. And the ones you do, they kind of, so anyway, this is what this looks like on the back here. It's basically just the configuration. I believe this will probably be the round 8 configuration because it's listed up here as being the 1997 champion, which of course you wouldn't find out until the last race of the season. There are a few differences in the car in 1997. This front fascia is slightly different, with a smaller front opening, and also this whoops, wrong finger. This wing back here is more of a GT3 style wing, in the sense that it's, a big wing on mounts rather than being a great big integrated basket handle like the kit has. So there's a few things that need to be done to the kit to bring it up to 97 specs, but happy to have those because, again, they're out of production, hard to find. And then the last thing I have in decals here is the reason why I wanted Marlboro red paint in the first place. And then this ends up being a large case of not doing enough research about the project prior to starting to buy things for the project. This is a set of decals from Taboo Design, which is, of course, the we do whatever we want version of our branch of Studio 27. And these are the 1984 Oman International Rally decals for the TA64 Celica. It's a Marlboro livery. And obviously you need Marlboro fluorescent red for this. And you can't use the kit's decals because the kit's decals make the roof and the doors red, where obviously this is sort of a part of the front clip, and the back clip is red. Why did I pick this rally of all the rallies? Well, mainly because I know that there are things in Arabic, and there are, drivers' names here that are not, traditional rally names. One of these people is actually a very famous rally racer in Africa. And, yeah, I know that'll bother some people, because there's just some really closed-minded people out there. A couple of them are, well, I don't want to say anything bad about anybody I know, but there's a couple of people I know that personally, locally, that I see on a monthly basis, let's put it that way, that this will bother because of their attitudes towards life, as it were, in current events. So, why is this? All right, so when you look at the graphics placement back here, it's just a line drawing of the instructions from the kit. I went online and I started trying to find real pictures of the car, because there's a bunch of die casts of this car made, but I was trying to find real pictures of this actual car, because all of the die casts have a different set of wheels than what come with the kit. And I finally dug around and I found the real picture of the car. Well, the car itself has like mini light rally wheels. Okay, dug around. Turns out Renaissance makes a set of mini light rally wheels designed to be used for the Tamiya Renault Turbo 5 rally car. Okay, well, it's the same year. I think that Renault's like an 84 and 85. It's the same size wheel, so huzzah. Gold wheel. I can get it from Media Mix. I can get it from Spot Model. There's a couple different places I can get those rims from. So again, not a big deal. Start to look at the kit, or the there's tape all over this. Start looking at the car more closely, and you may notice down here on this picture of the front of the car that it doesn't have the great big integrated roll hoop front bumper system that the Rally kit has. The car is some weird hybrid of the tarmac car and the rally car, or the gravel car. So in order to really make this accurately, and I know I could probably just run the Safari rally car, and no one would ever know except me and like 3 rabid, Middle Eastern rally fans. I can't do that, because if you guys know me and my race car deal, I can make any of these model kits behind me anything I want them to be, because they're whatever. When it comes to race cars, they're not a whatever. They're a thing, right? This car, well, there's 2 cars. This is one car, and this is one car. The 4 and the 5. This car was a specific vehicle. It's not a situation where it's like, oh well, I'll make a fan. No, you don't make fantasy race cars. I mean, you could make fantasy race cars. Don't let me tell you how to build models. But in my domain here, inside the stash, we do not make fantasy race cars. Race cars are sort of akin to the IPMS attitude towards military equipment, which is it represents a certain specific something raced during a certain something. So, what I'm going to end up having to do, aside from getting those rally wheels from Renaissance, is I'm going to have to get 2 more TA64 Celicas and kit bash them together. Basically, use the body out of the Portugal Rally tarmac car and put it on at least the chassis, or at least the suspension parts out of the gravel car, because I need the ride height, because this was most definitely an off-road rally. The reason why I was able to confirm this being the way it is really an amusing story in of itself that'll be like 3 seconds here, is the fact that there is a video on YouTube that's like 15 minutes long. They're the highlights of that race. I assume it's British. I didn't really watch the whole thing, mainly because I was on my phone at work and I don't want to burn my data up on YouTube. But the way they did the video was they were showing the cars just sort of passing through and running around in the order they finished. Well, in the 1984 International Rally of Oman, one of the 2 team cars finished second. The other one finished somewhere in the back. It broke and didn't finish at all, actually. The winning car was one of those weird 959 rally cars, which is always one of those things like, who decided to put a 959 on a jacked up 4x4 suspension was a good idea? Don't know. It was actually a pretty successful rally car for a couple of seasons, but beyond that, before all the rest of the craziness of Group B started. But in this video, I got to confirm in visual color for 3 minutes of it running around that most definitely is at least the way the kits are designed. It is the gravel car, or the tarmac car's body on the gravel car's chassis, because again, big off-road rally. I don't see a single paved road in the whole video that I saw, but it's got the other body. So that project now goes on the shelf in the to-be planned stage, because I would need to find another of the Safari Rally Celicas that I'm not going to pay an arm and a leg for. Certain places got them restocked. That's how I got mine. But I don't know if those restocks have sold out. The Portugal Rally car I can pick up, wherever, whenever. So I've ordered another set of decals from HobbyLink Japan, not in anything I'm going to show you here, to run with that TA64 rally car that are still Marlboro decals, so that I can still use the paint. But yeah, there's that. So, oops. I ordered these decals, the photo etch set for it, and the paint, all on the same night, without realizing that I couldn't combine all 3 of those things together technically. Now, I mean, I could take the gravel car and the rally in the tarmac car and combine the 2 that I have with this set of decals, but I really kind of want to build the Portugal car the way it is, and yeah, whatever. So kits, pick this up. This is the Pennzoil Nismo GTR. This is the championship car from 1998. This was the one GTR kit that they make, just factory made. Obviously it's just a Tamiya kit, and you paint the car chrome yellow, and then you do two-tone with the black, and there's really not much decals with this, because the rest of, since all that striping is all the black is paint, and there's just really not a whole lot to the decal sheet. The decal sheet in here is still closed up, still original, so I would assume that it's good. I didn't pull it apart, but it looked good through the wax, in the sense that it didn't look yellow through the there we go, now the glare's off of it. Didn't look yellow, so like I said, this was just I have everything else, so needed this one. These 2 here are what I'm calling the Comedy of Errors purchase. You guys know, if you watch the videos a lot, I picked up one of the anime Ferrari F430 kits that Fujimi made, because as it turned out, I ignored them back in the day when they were new in 2013, 2014, because they're just anime cars and they don't really represent a real race car. Well, it turns out that as I was digging around and getting to know the Super GT teams better over the course of the years, that, well, wait a minute, LMP Motorsports is a real race team. And I went on Google and Googled the car. Oh, holy hell, they're really race cars. Okay, cool. And so I found a lot of one of these liveries and one picture of the other one, and it's like the number 27 car. And this is what I've talked about before. I needed the numbers. Shunko made just a set of numbers. Uh, and I need the numbers. And so I bought the kit in the assumption that either I'll find a set of those number decals, or one of the Super GT guides I have has a whole bunch of press and stick stickers that are all the numbers for the year of like 2008 or something like that, but 27 ran that year. And I was going to send them off to one or two different places that does decals and be like, I just need 3 of these 27s. Technically, I need 6 of those 27s because I got the guides, the Super GT guides, and I found out that these were not like, oh, one of these ran 1 year, one of these ran for part of the season, one of them ran through the other season. The reason why I don't have like 2 of the Good Smile Racing Cox Porsche kits is because they're just 2 different graphics designs for the same season. Really, one's race 5, one's race 6. So I didn't think too much about it. And then I realized that this says 2012 on it, and I got the guide, which of course confirmed that indeed these are 2 separate liveries. This is a 2011 car, this is the 2012 car. So, oh, well, poo, I need the other one then, because all Super GT cars must have. If you guys haven't figured this out yet, I'm in the process of what will eventually be, knock on wood that I survive long enough, a massive Super GT Grand Japan Touring Championship project where I'm looking to build pretty much every single Super GT car for which there is a base kit, and obviously JGTC, because that's what that Pennzoil GTR technically is. So I went on, I have my entire, I'm not one of these guys that prefaces by saying, I'm one of these guys who buys things and then realizes I have it already. Not that guy. I had a very complete inventory of my holdings, as it were. I use scalemates.com, and so I went on Scalemates to look at my inventory, trying to remember which one of these I already had, because I was at Walmart when it suddenly occurred to me. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I need the other kit. I was waiting on a prescription for my wife, actually, which is a whole other story and a fiasco, but beyond that. And so I looked at what I had from on Scalemates, and it said I had this kit, which was the 2011 kit. Okay, cool. Because this is what I ordered, because this particular livery is the one I found a whole bunch of reference photos for. So I ordered the 2012 kit. Ta-da! I then, pay. This is like $28. So okay, fine. It's got a yen price of 4,500. Whoops, 4,500 yen. So this is like, when it sold new, it was like $40. So $28 is nearly half price. Excellent. I then painted the wall over here and moved everything back and put the Ferrari stuff up. And while I was putting the Ferrari stuff up, I'm like, I'm going to throw the F430s up there because I don't have the whole Super GT shelving system set up. And so just to make it easy, I'll just tuck it up there. And that was when I realized that no, the one I actually have already is this one, the 2012 kit. Which then made me wonder, because this isn't the kit I ordered. I went back through eBay. I can't remember if I told you this whole saga, and I don't want to make this video 90 minutes long, but I bid on this kit. The guy said he had 10 of them. He was selling them for like $35, which is, again, cheaper than it was new. And so I ordered one because I needed the kit. And then I waited for like 3 weeks. Nothing showed up. It never shipped. I write the guy, hey, I had a friend of mine look at the auction to see if it still said like 10 or 9, and it said 0 out of stock. So I wrote the guy, I'm like, hey, dude, what's the deal? I ordered this kit, I paid for it, and now your auction says that when you had 10 of these things, you don't have any at all. And he gave me the sob story about how he thought he could get them from Fujimi, but he really couldn't, and he's looking locally to find one, and if I could just be patient, he'll fix this whole thing. Okay, I'm a patient dude. So I waited along, and he sent me this one. So apparently, locally, he can only find the 2012 kit. I put it in my inventory as the 2011 kit because, well, first of all, they're kind of the same box art. It just depends on which side of the car the flying nurse is on. And so, yeah, I have two of the same thing unintentionally for the first time, I believe, ever in my hoarding history. I don't know. I've got a spare set of decals for the 2012 car, so that's good. So in case I wreck a set of decals, I have a spare set. And I'm thinking, I talked to a friend about selling one of these to him, and there was a Hemin and Han, so I don't know if I'm going to sell it to him or not. There is an Asia Le Mans set of decals for these cars, so I may just go out and buy that and just call it even. So yeah, that's my whoops purchase for the month, because I only need one, and now I have two. Speaking of things I have more than one of, that would be these. I went on a holy mackerel, these are cheap in Japan buying spree of 635 Group A racing cars. For some reason, this kit in Japan is, I don't know, if they just made a whole bajillion of them, or it's old and nobody wants it anymore, because, I mean, they made these back in 1986. And I got 3 of these, and I didn't pay for all 3 of them what you would pay for one of them here in the United States. For some reason, the Jägermeister reissue is really expensive in Japan, but this original, I'm trying to think what race this technically is. I'd have to look at the instructions, but I think it's like 1984, 24 hours of Spa, maybe? 85, 25 hours of Spa. So the big deal with these decals is it's got this set of decals where it's sort of showing you the inside of the car. On the car itself, on the drawing, it shows these being sort of like gray and silver. I've got 3 sets of these decals, and 2 sets of these decals, the decals are still like this, wrapped in plastic with the wax paper liner on them. All of them, like the number squares, the second number squares, they're all brilliantly white, but the innards of these things are beige. So I don't know. I haven't really sat down and like pulled real pictures of this car, and looking at the instruction sheet itself, those look pretty beige to me on the car. So I'm thinking that this is a situation where the box art doesn't necessarily match the reality, and so what I was hoping for by buying multiples of the same kit, I mean, aside from the fact that I'm going to not build, was not planning to build any of them as this car actually, but was that once I started finding like 2 or 3 of them really, really cheap, and I'm talking like I paid like $12, $18 for them, was the fact that, well, maybe I can get enough decal sheets together to piece one of these 85 Spot cars together. Looks like I could just build one with a set of decals. I have obviously 2 more sets of decals, but the decals all, like I said, look really good in the sense that at least 2 of them aren't even open. So hopefully they won't dissolve the instant they hit water, and I can build this actual Schnitzer Motorsports car. Which, like I said, really wasn't my intention, but now, okay, I have a desire. One of these cars, or maybe more than one of these cars, because technically there's 2 decal sheets, will be used for the Eggenberger Motorsports sheet I showed you the other day. I also have a set from Decal Pool for the Australian Touring Car Championship, which is a black car sponsored by Johnny Player Special. Which is basically the forerunner to the M3 decals that Deckelkoff did. So that's sort of a lineage type of deal in my mind. Also, I have a set of decals from MSM Creations on the way, which make the Marlboro car, which won the 1983 Ghia Race of Macau. And with the way the decals are and the way the kits are coming out, if you took one of these, turned it into the Marlboro car, you'd have the 83 Ghia Race of Macau car. You take one of the TWR Jaguars and you get the Johnny Player special decals that Taboo did, or find an old auto color decal sheet, and that's the 1984 Ghia Race of Macau winner. And then the kit that BMAX is currently working on, that Volvo 240 Turbo, that's coming with the Kamachi livery, that's the 1985 Ghia Race of Macau winning livery. So you can build a whole bunch of winning cars right in a row. I believe in either 86 or 87, maybe 86. The winning car was a Ford Sierra RS500, for which decals do not exist right now, but we are in the process of working on. So if you have any Sierras, you might want to hang on to those. We have a couple of build options for those coming up pretty soon. And then last kit, because I said I got 3 of the same thing here, so don't have to go over all 3 of them. The last thing I got here from Wheeeee is the Sard Super GT. This, of course, like I said, the really, really hard one to find for some reason. Yeah, so the decals in here are out of the plastic, but they look like they're really, really good shape. My concerns of the red stuff, I mean, I could paint the red, so I'm not really worried about it. So long as all the other decals, all the the livery decals themselves stick without falling off, then I'm good with it. And if push comes to shove, I'll paint the red on if the red decals start dissolving in water or whatnot. So there's that. So, moving along to the HobbyLink Japan box. HobbyLink Japan ran a spring sale. The spring sale, or not spring sale, an autumn sale. The autumn sale, like pretty much every sale that HobbyLink Japan does that's not related to Christmas, pretty much stunk on ice for the car guys. There's not a lot there. I mean, if you don't have a lot of model kits, there's probably some stuff you would be interested in. If you have a lot of model kits, you're kind of like, yeah. So what I found was some detail upsets and stuff like that I wanted, and I bought one model kit, which is not something that I shipped out. It's still over in Japan. So one of the things I got on this sale was this C West Mitsubishi Evo 9 detail set from Hobby Design. This is like a $50 resin trans kit that was on sale for $20. So yes, please, why not? They make a total of 3 of these, trans kits to convert Evo 9s into tuner versions. Front bumper, and then another baggie here that has the wings and the side skirt and a new hood in there. And oops, things are going sliding. And then there's a couple of frets of photo etch in there, the wing supports and things like that. So just a couple of little things here. Like I said, it was a $50 trans kit, and if you know anything about your Hobby Design trans kits, well, $50 is next to nothing for a Hobby Design trans kit. So, yeah, I mean, at some point I'll have to get another Evo 9 for it, but those are easily found for 15, 18 bucks all over the place. So, not too concerned about that. The other thing that I got in a detail up set that was on sale was this, which is the, whoops, showed it to the computer, not the camera. Oh god, I suck. Anyway, it's this Ferrari 360 Modena detail upset for Tamiya. This will be like the other ones I got for all the Lamborghini kits, where this is going to be a lot of photo etch inside of it. So there's that. Again, this is another situation where this was like a $35, $38 photo etch set. It was like $12 on the sale. So Shazam on that. Also, in the little baggie of goodies here, we got 3 more sets of the orange tires. We talked about this when the 1999 order had come in. One detail upset from the fine folks at Aoshima. We talked about this when it came out, and I kept meaning to order it, and I finally remembered. Is the detail upset for the Toyota Century. Toyota Century. This is the really nice one that has all of the laser etched and painted wood grain photo etch stuff for the inside, as well as just a regular photo etch stuff there with the grill and the brake rotors and all that sort of stuff. The these things up here on top are gutter guards for the windows. So there's that, and then we got some decals here from Studio 27. This right here is the Evo 7 World Rally Car Street Car Dress Up Set. There's decals in here for either or. You can either do the Tamiya Street kit or the Tamiya World Rally Championship kit. Obviously, you get the racing seat parts for the rally car, as well as the rally car's mirrors, the rally car's air intake, as well as the rally car's door panels. Now, the interesting thing about the rally car's door panels is they're really not all that much different from the street car's door panels. So I'll take a look at those and see well they would actually fit on the street car. And then there's just sort of, a hood, a roof, and stuff like that. So there's that. And then I've got the 3 sets of Studio 27, because I already got the auto color sheet, so I don't need the Taboo graphic. But I've got the 3 sheets of Studio 27 Jaguar XJS decals. So you have the 500 kilometers of Donington, which is part of the auto color sheet. But with the auto color sheet, there's also that Intertech series on that sheet, and they both utilize the stripes, the white stripes. Kind of hard to see with the reflection there, but there are white stripes right here that go down the side. The Intertech and this Donington set both use those white stripes, so it was, you build one or the other, but you couldn't do both. So I was happy to see them actually do this separately, because that frees up my auto color sheet to do the Intertech one. And then you got your Grand Prix of Borno white car. This was a 1983 season. And then you have your Iraq Tourist Trophy from the 1982 season, the Modal sponsored car. This is nice because, assuming it fits and doesn't, destroy itself, you have the all of the red and white there in big panel decals rather than have to mask all that off and paint it. So there is all of that. We have one last sort of detail part, and that would be this set of the AW Steel Daytona wheels, the 16-inch VIP van wheels that I think will look good on pretty much anything. If you take a peek at the instructions here, you see that you can build those wheels either with the center cap or without. So you can build just a flush steel wheel, or you can stick the chrome on there for the center cap. So options all up to you on that. And then we got some kits here, not too much, because basically we were just shipping out the warehouse the stuff that would expire, and then I shipped all these decals and photo etch and all this crap with it because it doesn't add any weight to the package, so you basically ship all that stuff for free. We have the first 2 of the reissued Jaguar XJS HE TWR race cars. I say first of 2 because all told, between all the sets of decals, including doing the actual factory 84 Spa championship car here, you need 6 altogether to make all the decal sheets. So I don't have any of these just laying around. So I needed all 6 of them in that sense. One thing to remember, if you're buying these kits and you want to make the 24 Hours of Spa car, there is no white. You have to mask off that stripe and paint it yourself. All you get is the pinstripes for the top and the bottom of the stripe. So, and as you notice, there it is, a full detail kit. So there is that situation there, and I've got to figure out a aftermarket source for some BBS racing wheels. I need basically what the 635 and the Ford Sierra has. I think Scale Productions can hook me up with that because they make a set that's flat for the M3 kit. I think I have a dish set for older stuff. So, one of the recent conversions for the Skyline series. This has the new front and rear fascias as well as the new 14-inch aluminum wheels and tires. Otherwise, it's an old kit. We've got the 76 Skyline 2000 GTX ES. again, same thing. New front and rear fascias, new wheels and tires. Otherwise, I believe it's a 78 or 77. We got 2 of these because I've been meaning to buy these anyway, and I was like, you know what? I'll grab them. And this is the 1978 280E Cedric Gloria. You can obviously all the parts in here to build either the Cedric or the Gloria, and there's really not that much difference between the two, to be perfectly honest with you. If you look here, you notice there's very, very minor differences in that grille panel there between the headlights. The tail lights are a little bit different. You still have to deal with whatever this is supposed to be in terms of a chassis. It's not as bad as some of the motorized kits. I now become another YouTuber who's thrown a chassis plate on the floor. So, hey, I've graduated into that. You know, your body looks good for as old as it is. But, you know, it is what it is. You've got this kit did not have anything new tooled up for it in the sense of stuff. It is just a reissue of existing kit. You do get a set of like Impal wheels with this, as well as a set of like Volk mesh wheels or something along those lines. So you get 3 sets of wheels with it, in addition to the factory stock wheels that are on the box cover. So yeah, there's that. And then one more thing, and we'll let you off the hook, and appreciate you hanging in and watching the whole video. That is the Subaru sandbar here for the they're calling it a 2-in-1. You can build it as a 2008 or a 2011, which I assume means that the 2011 decals that came with the original kit are probably in here as well. But this is specifically designed to be the fire engine for the Subaru plant, which is not mentioned anywhere on here. I'm noticing, but I don't have the thing in front of me to say what the plant was called, but it's the engine and transmission plant over there in Japan, is what this all works out to be. Well, looks like one set of like number plates. So I guess you could build it as a 2012, but this is designed to be built as a 2008, and it's designed specifically to represent the fire department for the, like I said, the transmission and engine plant in, I think it's Osuki or Osaki or something like that. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called, but this is designed to be a very specific fire truck, whereas the original kit that was done in 2015 was just a sort of a, it's a little city fire truck, it's a trash truck, it's a brush truck, it's a whatever, because these are 4x, well, not 4x4, but they're 4-wheel drive. So yeah, I'm happy with it. You get some new parts in here that convert it backwards into the 2008 from the 2011 spec. Otherwise, I believe it's pretty much the same thing. I think there might be a couple of differences in the actual bed tools that are specific to this fire truck and its service, but other than that, it is pretty much a reissue of the original one. So, anyway, guys, thanks for hanging in there with another one of these videos, and we'll see you guys on the other side.